You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
It is a Friday review, but not just any Friday review. I've been doing so much travel over the past month. I can't wait to share with you what I've been talking on, what's going on in the practice currently, but also what we have going on starting in just 3 weeks. So I can't wait to share with you today. Today, I'm letting a lot of that out of the bag. So it'll be a really fun episode, but of course, I'll also get into my favorite food of the week. I teased that a little bit on this past Wednesday. Hopefully you tuned into that show. Yesterday seemed to be a decent size hit as well. A lot of people like to learn about the absolute most efficient way to get their bodies in shape. Talked about that yesterday. We had, of course, our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Always one of our favorites, for sure, my favorite of the week, because without that motivation, without that inspiration to get started, we don't get a lot done in our lives. So that's a big part. And then it's also simply looking at our life, reframing it in a way where we can be more grateful, we can have more perspective, and we can really try to show more kindness even when it's not always easy. And then on Tuesday, we talked about what a lot of people don't know is actually lurking in their meat, their fish, their eggs. Again, I'm not saying not to eat those, but do go back, listen to that show, and why it's so important to know where you're getting your proteins. So super excited. Again, today I'm going to actually start to share with you right now. So we have so much going on in the practice, but one of the things I try to share on Motivation and Mindset Mondays as well is that I want you to get excited about your 2020. I want you to get excited about your new year. You should develop something in your life, a plan in any area of your life, and I'll be sharing that with you more on the next couple Motivation and Mindset Mondays, getting you ready for the new year. But I want you to have something, a thing that gets you fired up in the morning, that gets you out of bed, transforming your body, taking back your health, working on or finding that right person in your life. It could be a new career-based path, taking up a new hobby. I mean, honestly, sky's the limit, right? Working on your spirituality, your connectedness, exploring something new, going on adventures, but do something. It doesn't have to happen in January, but start to work towards it in January. Something you can work on a little bit every single day. So a few things that I want to share with you. There's actually 4 of them, or 3 of them that I'm going to share with you today. The first one is this. So many people have been asking, because I have not taken on a new private wellness concierge client in 2019. Now, keep in mind, I oversee hundreds and hundreds of people in my practice working with my health coaching team. So please do not ever think that I am not overseeing your labs. I'm not looking at your personalized wellness plan. I am. So I have great coaches on my team, great integrative health practitioners on my team that I oversee all of their labs, and I make those personal recommendations along with them. So you can still work with my team, and I still oversee that. But I know there's a lot of people who would choose to work with me, and that's great. I mean, I obviously feel extremely blessed, super grateful that you would only want to work with me. But again, you can still work with my team, get those great results, and I can oversee that as well. And that, again, that's about 1/3 of the price. But if you just say, I just want to work with me, Dr. Cabral, then you can do that. And what you can do, very, very simply, I'm going to just, obviously we can't take everyone that applies, but I at least want to give people a shot. So if you'd like to apply before the year ends, just within the next 2 weeks, by the 23rd, well, that would be the last day. That's when we're going to give decisions. You can simply go to stephencabral.com/health-intake-form. stephencabral.com/health-intake-form. So I'll be taking on a few new people for the new year in my brand new concierge practice, which is actually going to be a 6-month program. I want to work with people at the very highest level. So at this highest level, we're going to be doing a 6-month program. I'll be speaking with you for about 3 hours or so over that 6 months. I'll be looking at all your labs, giving all your recommendations, creating all your plans, even outside of our time together. You'll also be working with my health coach in my private practice who works directly with me, Julia Hayes, and she will be working with you on the other 3 hours or so as well. So we'll be talking every single month. Inside of that too, you get included all of the big 5 labs. So this is the highest level, I believe, of a concierge practice that you can offer. So I want to work with people who just they want it all, right? They want the labs, they want the big 5, they want the monthly call, like all of those things. So that's what we're going to provide. Although it's not up yet, we will put it up in the show notes. So if you want to learn about this new practice, you can just go to stephencabral.com/1407. That is today's podcast, 1407. And I will put the link to the new concierge practice. Again, the current practice is still there. It's 3 months. You do an intake. You get your lab recommendations. You get your personalized wellness plan, explanation of your labs, and then you get your follow-up. I mean, it works fantastic. That's what we've been doing forever. But if you'd like to work at that next level, you can. You're able to. And I will be working with a few people in 2020. Okay. So next up, one thing that I've gotten a lot of is that people would love to do more events, and I get that because I love events as well. So in 2020, we have 2 events planned for our integrative health practitioners. The first one is a small event in Australia. It's in Sydney, Australia, and that is going to be in March. I will get the dates for you right now. It is a Thursday and Friday, March 5th and March 6th. Again, that's in Sydney, Australia. We have 50 seats available. It's a beautiful boutique-based space. It's fantastic. My event planner from Australia sent me over about a dozen spaces, and I said, it's this one. This is the one. It has like a lounge-type area. We're providing a plant-based lunch. We have about, I think, 6 or 7 hours worth of workshops, all sorts of great things. So it's for people that want to learn more about health coaching. And right now, those 45 people are our integrative health practitioners. But if anyone's thinking they want to learn more about health coaching, they want to potentially become an integrative health practitioner if they're not already, and they're from Sydney, Australia, or you're close by, or you want to travel, you're welcome to. We have 5 tickets left, and that is, again, it's in March. That's at ihplive.com. Just go to ihplive.com. We have 5 tickets available. When they are sold out, they are sold out. So super excited about that one. I've never been to Australia. So for me, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait. I'm taking my whole family. We're taking some time off. We're going to travel a little bit around the world. Not quite all. Well, yeah, it's halfway around the world. And spending some time there. Can't wait. And I just know that how many people we've been able to connect with over in Australia, New Zealand, it's just going to be fantastic. So I can't wait to come over there, visit many of the people that I've got to know over the past couple of years, and of course, get to personally meet 50 people at the event. So love that. Just a little bit about my speaking over the last couple of weeks, and then I want to get to our metabolic system that will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. Okay, so over the last month, maybe just 5 weeks, flew to Germany for World Medicine Week. I spoke in Boulder, Colorado at a conference for health-based businesses, entrepreneurs. I can't even remember the next place I traveled from there. And then I just was in Orlando, Florida for Amanda Tress's great event. Got to meet 350 of her top health coaches. I spoke about functional medicine, the future of what I believe healthcare is. I talked about really connecting with people, making this more just about, an appointment. I did a great book signing there. It was just absolutely fantastic event. And then this weekend will be, I thought I was done. My last one, I'll be in Vermont, meeting with some great health-minded people. And so it's been a lot of fun traveling over the past 5 weeks or so. The reason I bring that up is this. I meet so many people from around the world, and the thing is, all of us struggle with, let's say, at one point or another, maybe our health. Like I struggle with my health. But when you're struggling with it, you think that you're all alone. Meaning that I didn't know anyone else who was dealing with the health issues that I was dealing with when I had them. And when you go to all these events, you actually meet a lot of other people like you. So I'm not saying that we're going to meet at, an event that I put on, whatever it is. But I could say I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you in 2020 to pick an event anywhere, like anywhere that you want, and get around another 50, 100, 350 people or more. I don't like too much bigger than that because then you can't really interact as much. But get around other people where you realize that there's a whole lot of other people just like you. They share the same struggles, the same hopes, the same dreams, and then you've met a friend potentially for life that you can connect and keep in touch with online, almost like an accountability partner that you can talk with every couple weeks. So just get out there, explore the world. If you have a family, I get it. I mean, it's always a trade-off. There's no doubt about it. I'm always talking to my wife saying, I don't want to take too much time away from the family. I really feel this is important though. And then I limit it per month, like when I'm going to travel. And then sometimes my family comes with me. So they came with me to Germany. Like literally, I said, no. I said, if I have to be there for a week, everyone's coming, and it wasn't like that I was forcing anyone to come. And said, what do you think? Do you want to do this? And we said, yeah, it's an adventure. It's an adventure for our girls. They've never done an overnight flight. We got them passports and it ended up being a lot of fun, even though it rained every day, literally every day. So, those are some of the things that you can do. And if your kids are getting a little older and it's an appropriate event, I can't wait to bring my daughters when they start to get maybe younger teenagers to a lot of these based events where they can meet more people, they can see opportunities. Don't be afraid of that. Your kids aren't too young, right? I mean, really start to expose them to these types of good things as well. They're exposed to all sometimes negative things at, school and what things are being taught and the media, sometimes their friends. So you can kind of show them the other side as well. So anyway, just kind of a little challenge to you, and you almost never regret it. Really, I can't say I've ever really been to an event where I haven't gotten one or two nuggets out of it that have been life-changing, that have really set me on a different course, that at least have gotten me to think a little differently. So I hope and I want the same for you as well. All right, last one before I move on to some data on saunas, favorite food of the week, research. But first, our brand new metabolic weight loss system is coming January 2nd, 2020. I'm not going to give the name away yet. It is a first ever. I can assure you this has never been done before in the industry. And it will be a complete metabolic weight loss system. So here is the reason why, though, it's going to be different and the reason why it's going to work. We are not going to tell you to limit your calories, drop them down to, nothing per day, and over-exercise. We're actually looking at everything but that. So if you've struggled with weight loss before, and you've been on countless diets, you've tried going to the gym, and you either lost the weight or rebounded, or you were never able to get past a certain point, this is the program that's going to help you. And the reason I can say that is because we do this in private practice. I know that it's a little slow for me to get a lot of these things online sometimes. I understand that, but from my side and my perspective, it is a lot of work. So there's only so many things that you can do at the same time. So my 2019, for 12 months, I was dedicated to a brand new program called the Integrative Health Practitioner. The year before that, I was dedicated to my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. And in 2020, I'm dedicated to creating systems for our community, everyday people who need to get well, lose the weight, and keep it off. And you saw the first one just come out, the free detox course. It's equilibriumnutrition.com/detox-course. For a limited time, that is free. Eventually, it will only be available when you purchase a detox. This system is going to be a course with nutrition, exercise, the entire de-stress protocol, including supplementation, based around metabolism and boosting metabolism from 5 factors. Over the next 5 weeks, starting this coming Wednesday, I will be detailing each factor individually. So stay tuned for those Wednesday shows, our Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday shows. I'm going to teach you whether you use our system or not. You know that on the podcast, I give everything away that we do for free in my practice. And the reason is this. Once you realize that there are so many people who need your help, and you're already, like your cup is already full, we work with so many great people, you want to share that with as many people as possible. That's what I want to do in the Cabral concept. I want you to know that you simply writing in with your success story. That's what I'm looking for. That is so empowering for me, a practitioner who's been doing this for 20 years. It's what I love. That's what gives me fuel. And as I'm saying this, my mind already goes to, we passed 1,000 reviews. 1,000 reviews, close to 5 stars on iTunes. When I see that, it's amazing. I mean, 1,000 reviews, it makes everything that we do worthwhile because we know it's helping people, or at least it's enabling them to move forward in the direction they want. And that's what I want for people. I really want to get this information to people. We know we can help them. We're going to do that in 2020, and we are going to revolutionize the weight loss industry because there will be no hype. There will be no gimmicks. We're going to teach people, bottom line, this is how you do it. We'll get you some quick wins. We'll help you lose 5+ pounds that first week, another 3 to 5 pounds. Then we're going to help you lose 1% every single week until you reach your goal. That's the bottom line. We know how to do it. We know what happens when you reach an obstacle and how to overcome that plateau. So I don't want to give it all away. Stay tuned every Wednesday until its debut. And even after that, I'll be going through the 5 factors of how this works. And then on January 2nd, the entire system will debut. Can't wait. My team's super excited. We've been now formulating this for over 12 months. That's how long these things take. They take forever. But now that it's coming, now that it's here, I have the package. I already have it delivered. Couldn't be more excited. All right. So that is coming soon. The last thing before I get into this is just I want to share this with you. equilibriumnutrition.com/international-shipping. We now ship to another 5 or 6 countries around the world. So if you've been looking for that lab, if you've been looking to get on one of our protocols, CBO protocol, parasite protocol, heavy metal detox, or our daily foundational protocols that I use every day, just head over to equilibriumnutrition.com/international-shipping. And I'm typing it in right now to make sure it works. And it works. All right, great job, team. You'll see them all broken down by country. Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, Greece, Latvia, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Hong Kong, Hungary, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Philippines, Romania, Singapore, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, Ukraine, United Kingdom, and Vietnam. Plus, of course, all of the United States. So check that out. You can see if your country is listed there, if you didn't hear me read it off. And now let's move on to that favorite food of the week. So for the past month or so, I've been really enjoying just share with you different things. I'm not going to say, I love, I love sweet potatoes with, I'm not going to give you that with broccoli, right? So these are different foods that you may not have thought about before. And I kind of outlined this on Wednesday's show, and it was called A Food Your Whole Family Will Love. So I'm not going to go through that, but I want to give an example that I'll do sometimes on the weekends that I find is super tasty, and it does not count as a cheat meal, okay? So you can do something really tasty, enjoyable, and doesn't count as a cheat meal. Now, if I eat something with gluten in it, I consider it for myself a cheat meal, even if it can be healthy. But you can get yourself a paleo or gluten-free bread or the oatmeal bread that I talked about on episode 1405. And I want to show you, because a lot of people, they still don't understand, they still don't believe how you can have a plant-based meal and get 30 grams of protein very, very easily. So I'm going to break it down super simple for you right now, and then I'm post the very simple recipe, because remember, I'm not a chef. I don't even pretend to be a chef, but I can make my own food. You should be able to make your own food. Honestly, you should be able to, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but you should be able to buy a piece of wild salmon if you'd like. And today I'm going to give you a vegan-based meal, but you should be able to buy a piece of salmon, put it in your oven at 350 until it cooks. You should be able to put beside it some broccoli and put it in the oven and wait till it cooks. You should be able to put a sweet potato in the oven maybe a half hour before you put the salmon in, and the broccoli, you can keep it at 350 and cook that for an hour. And then you should be able to take that out, that salmon, the broccoli, and the sweet potato, and put it on a plate. Sprinkle some sea salt if you'd like, some olive oil on top, and you have yourself a healthy and delicious meal. That's self-sufficient, and it's easy. Like, you should be able, honestly, I just believe, don't overcomplicate food, okay? Don't overcomplicate it. And those following a plant-based diet, I follow a largely predominantly plant-based diet plan. Well, check out this simple lunch-based recipe. Let's say everybody's going out and they're getting, I don't know what they're getting. Let's say they're getting bagels or whatever it is. I'm just like, yeah, I feel not like I want to participate. But I want something that's enjoyable, right? Because if I'm having a cheat meal, I want it to be great. Like, I want to enjoy that. If I want a cheat meal, it might be chocolate chip cookies. I'm not going to get something that I don't really love. I'm going to get chocolate chip cookies, or I'm going to get my bread and pasta or something like that. But this can be one that isn't considered a cheat meal. So check this out. Get yourself a good gluten-free bread, okay? Check out 1405 for some options. You can get an oatmeal-based bread. That could be a nice one with no added yeast, just a little baking soda, some water, super simple, okay? Well, in those 2 slices of bread, you're just going to do 2 slices. They're actually quite small. 2 slices of bread. There's 3 grams of protein in each one. That's 6 grams, okay? So good. So we have 6 grams of protein just for the bread. Now, you can get pumpkin seed butter. I did an episode on this on 88 Acres. You can get any pumpkin seed butter you want. Another way to make pumpkin seed butter is to buy sprouted pumpkin seeds. If you'd like sprouted pumpkin seeds, you can do that. And you just put them in a food processor. You can put them in a Blendtec or Vitamix if you want. It's harder to scrape out. And you have your own pumpkin seed butter. So you can make it however you want. But pumpkin seed butter, you're going to put 1.5 tablespoons on each slice of bread. That's actually not that much. If you take a level tablespoon, just a tablespoon, and you do 1.5, it's not that much. It just covers the bread. But I'm giving you an example of how this isn't that much, okay? And my mind went to this as well because I've been doing this for quite some time, and they talk about this. I think they talk about this on the Game Changers documentary as well that I spoke about. But it's super simple. Most people use way more than that. But anyway, and that's what I'm using in my example. It's about 13.5, 14 grams. So then, on top of that, I drizzle a little bit of raw honey, about 5 grams or so. That's it. Not a protein, though, just of sugar, glucose. But again, it's from raw honey. Antimicrobial, just amazing properties to it. Okay, and then after that, now I have my pumpkin seed butter, which is fantastic, so good for you. Why pumpkin seeds? The zinc in it, the iron in it. It's amazing. Really, really amazing food, pumpkin seeds. Okay, I don't want to get off topic. I did a podcast on pumpkin seeds, though. You can just go to stephencabral.com/podcast and just type in pumpkin or pumpkin seed if you'd like. Okay, next on top, my favorite. I use them almost every day at lunch, 5 days a week, I would say, and those are hemp hearts. So hemp hearts, if you don't know where they are or don't know what they are, get organic hemp hearts. We might actually start making them, meaning like manufacturing them at Equilibrium Nutrition, since I would love to make sure that I get my own clean source that I can test and all of that. So it's possible in 2020 that we start selling hemp hearts. We'll be selling our own organic hemp protein powder in January or February. Super excited about that because if I want a second shake or I want to add more protein, then I add hemp protein. So anyway, that's to the DNS. So that is 1.5 tablespoons on each slice of bread. It just basically coats the entire top of the bread, and that is 10 grams of protein. So if we do the math, I have 6 grams of protein for the 2 slices of gluten-free bread. I have 13.5, if we want to be exact, for the pumpkin seed butter for 1.5 tablespoons on each slice. And then I have 1.5 tablespoons of hemp hearts. There's no protein in honey. 1.5 tablespoons of protein on each slice, and that's going to give me 10 more grams of protein. So now, if we add all of that up, we get 6 plus 13.5 plus 10, we get 29.5 grams of protein. So it's basically 30 grams of protein, especially if you add just a smidge more hemp hearts or a smidge more pumpkin seed butter. Again, most people will be closer to, I would say, 18 grams of protein from the pumpkin seed butter because they'll use probably 2 tablespoons on each. But anyway, just right there, 30 grams of protein from a simple artisan toast that's gluten-free, that's packed with fiber, that's packed with protein, and that's also packed with healthy fats. Healthy fats, basically none from the bread, lots of healthy fats from the hemp, and lots of healthy fats from the pumpkin seed butter. So we look at that, we've got a nice, healthy meal that you can feel good about, and you could even just do 1 slice if you wanted. That's 15 grams, right? You might only want 15 grams of protein. Now, on the side to that, you can have a nice side salad, and that's a pretty great meal. And that's going to fill you up. I mean, you're really looking at, I think that's probably around a 500-calorie meal. So again, you could go less on the hemp hearts. You could go less on the pumpkin seed butter. But no, the pumpkin seed butter is, about 250 calories or so. And we're looking at about 180 for the hemp parts. So we're looking at, let's say, somewhere around, well, let's round it up. Let's say around 400 or so for those. And then the actual bread itself, if I can find that, I probably can't right off the top of my head, but those two slices are probably right around 150, maybe 170 grams or so between the two. Probably about 150, probably 70 grams, 80 grams maximum per slice. So you've got a nice little meal there, 500 calories or so. Your salad's going to be pretty much negligible. And you've got, a great meal, high in protein, and a lot of nutrients, a lot of antioxidants there as well. All right. So just showing you an example of how simple this can be to make a fun yet healthy meal that you can enjoy, especially if that was like a workout day. That could be fantastic. All right. I know I'm going a little high on time, so I'm going to just give you just a little bit about what I'm doing with sauna-based research that I found and how I've been using the sauna lately, especially since it's really been unseasonably cold here in Boston. It's not even winter, to be honest with you. Winter hasn't even started technically, and it's been a really cold. There's been snow, not ideal weather. You don't want to come to Boston necessarily in December, January, February, March. I would say April too. But May through October, phenomenal. So anyway, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help improve my overall immune system and heat up my body during these colder months especially. So I am at a gym that's very easily accessible now in Boston, and they have a small sauna. But the sauna, I have to share this with you. So the sauna, they keep it at 182 degrees. I don't typically sauna at 182. So I just want to give you a little background. Most infrared sauna are about 118 to about 140 degrees. Okay, let's just say 120 to 140 for easy math. That's typically an infrared sauna. Now, why would that be? Here's the reason why. You want to stay in an infrared sauna for typically 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And the reason is you want that extra time to be able to do what an infrared sauna does, and that's help to detox more heavy metals and other toxins like that. So really, really great. Now, you don't actually heat the body up as fast and as high as you would get from like a Finnish sauna, which is more like the wood-based saunas that the temperatures go higher. So the temperatures in a sauna, now they do world championships of sauna, which is such a bad idea. Someone died just a couple of years ago, which is really too bad. Nobody should compete on how long they can stay in a wood oven. I mean, that's really what it is. They put it over 200 degrees. It's 212 degrees or more. They had it at 110 degrees Celsius when that man died, which is horrible. Now, again, keep in mind, I know that it's going to sound not that nice to say, but your body is flesh. It's meat. It's flesh. And you're cooking it that high. It's too high. It's not a good idea. So I'm pushing the limit right now at 182 degrees. I want to be able to stay in a sauna for about 20 minutes, a hot sauna for 20 minutes if I'm not using the infrared. So this one, it's a struggle at 182. Now, for some people, it might be easy. Might be no problem at all. But for me, it's a lot. So I find the sweet spot for me is right around where typically a Finnish sauna is that they use for the majority of their studies. And that's why I'm sharing that with you, is that I think most people are going to benefit from the 150 to about the 170 degree range if you're in a regular sauna. You'll be able to do it then for 20 minutes to maybe 30 minutes. Remember, check out my podcast on 19 minutes of sauna and the amazing benefits it has. But that is right within the sweet spot of 150 to 175. If I could have my ideal, it would probably be 160 degrees. Then I could stay in for a little longer than 20 minutes and feel great overall. Because remember, it's not one bout that you want. You actually want to do this as many days a week as possible. So again, everyone needs to find their own sweet spot. For me, it's not 182, so I've been getting out around the 14-minute to 15-minute mark in that sauna. That feels appropriate. There's no need to overdo it. Some days maybe a little more, some days definitely a little less. So you don't want to push it too much. You want to be able to get the max benefit. So that's what I'm sharing with you right now. You can check it out at your gym, but you can also adapt, right? So I'm going to do maybe around 12 minutes or so in the 182, maybe 15. For the 160, I'm going to get my 20 to maybe 25 minutes. And then if I'm in a lower temperature infrared sauna, somewhere between 120 and 140, well, I'll go for 30 minutes or more. So hopefully that was helpful. Again, it's different ways to adapt to what you are given. The gym gives me. A part of it is the sauna, and that's 182 degrees. So that's okay. I do it, but I'm going to do it for a little bit less time. On the days I can do it a little bit longer, I might stay in a little bit longer. When I have my own sauna, then I'm doing that at 160 because I can set it. And then for the infrared saunas, between 120 and 140, which most go to. And I can do that now for a longer extended period of time. Hopefully this was helpful. I will get to more research next week. I had so much to bring you this week. Hopefully it was beneficial. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. As always, enjoy your weekend and always tune in. If you're able to, check out the weekend shows. That's when we answer our community's questions each and every weekend on the Cabral House Calls. Thank you so much. You're amazing. I appreciate you. Take care.
Did you know that the body really only becomes sick or imbalanced in only 2 ways? Over time, you become deficient in vital nutrients, and you also accumulate toxins internally and from the environment. As those nutrients diminish and you increase your total toxic load, your body then begins to show the first signs of dis-ease. It's actually quite predictable, and the good news is that if we know how you began to fill up that proverbial rain barrel, we also know how to empty it to begin the healing process. I was fortunate enough to learn this ancient healing process from my mentor after suffering from debilitating diseases for close to a decade. It was only when I began to implement these techniques did I finally overcome my illnesses and go on to live a life of energy and vitality that I now enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what I discovered after traveling all over the world and how to combine the best of ancient healing wisdom with state-of-the-art science. Allow me to teach you exactly how I've been able to help over 250,000 people to empty their rain barrel and begin to transform their body and lives into what they've always hoped they could be. To get your copy of the international bestseller, The Rain Barrel Effect, simply go to stephencabral.com/rainbarrel.